Hello, and welcome to another update video about ADA. Yeah, ADA, I don't think ADA has pushed much higher since the last update. I don't think it's formed another high. When I recorded the last video, the price was already at around 66 cents. And we already defined a main support area here on the daily chart, but we want to talk about the shorter time frame as well in this video. I think we didn't do that in the last update, so just want to take a look at that as well. But overall, yeah, this here could still, and this needs to shift a little bit. This is just a support area at the moment to watch, just standard Fibonacci levels. Doesn't mean it has to be tested now. We only have a 3-wave move up, as you can clearly see there, right, on the chart. And to really, I mean, this bottoming structure is super messy. It really is, yeah. But the move up is obviously very, very noteworthy. And as long as the price can pull back only in corrective fashion, which means in corrective pullbacks in 3 waves, overlapping structures, as opposed to an impulse down, the focus would remain on higher prices. I mean, the price, you know, rallied out of our support area. I know a lot of members, not only members, but a lot of you guys are in profit now. Because I had some messages today, you know, should I take profit or not? Essentially, I can't tell you that, right? That depends on your risk profile, and only you can decide that. But what I mentioned in our member live stream today, and the recording is available in case you are interested in rewatching it. The point is, you know, whenever we start these rallies, things are moving quickly in crypto, right? Very, very quickly. Expect pullbacks potentially to be quite rapid. I mean, it could come down quite strongly initially and scare people again a little bit, because we had quite a substantial rally. So that again takes time to correct, you know, these movements. But whenever we have these movements, I think people think about, okay, should I take profit or not? And what can happen if really that larger degree third wave there to the upside has started, and we don't know that yet. But if the third wave has started, and I'm leaning towards it, but again, things can change, then what you don't normally want to do, you don't normally want to try to trade every single tiny wave. Because if you do, the risk is that your positions become too tiny, right? And then one way to deal with that is to have a core position that you use to trade the main element of the trend. And then you just have a smaller position to trade around it. There's no point, you know, being all in, all out of the market all the time. You can sort of scale in, scale out, you know. If you miss an entry, no problem. You still have your core position, right? So that's just something that, there are other strategies that we discussed, but there's just one thing that I've always been highlighting. Maybe not actually in recent months, not so much about the altcoins, but it's something that I mentioned many times before Bitcoin's rally started last year, in terms of, you know, having Bitcoin holdings, having a core position, and then having small positions to trade around it, to then add to that core, you know, using that profit then to add to the core position. But yeah, I mean, you don't want to miss that main element of the trend. So the main takeaway is, at the moment we have a 3-wave move up on the ADA chart. There are there are many ways how you can interpret this, how you can count this. I'm looking for some clarity short term to understand what really the structure is, because this is really, really messy. The problem that we have on this chart is that the initial rally is in 3 waves. So assumption is that this is a diagonal pattern, right? So it's possible that, for example, we have a 1-2 setup in blue and white, then this is an A, B, and we're moving up in wave C now. And that wave C visually, just like visually, that C wave could even get one more 4-5 pattern. We take a look at that on the smaller time frame. That's one scenario to deal with. The green scenario allows for a direct pathway higher. I explained that in the last video, so without any clear subdivisions. But I also explained in the last video, there is a key level where the probabilities shift from the white scenario to the green one. So the white one indicates, okay, you know, we could get a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5. Great. We have 5 waves up, then we watch for the wave 2 pullback, and that could be a setup for a third of a third wave rally. This would be technically, would be ideal. But above 78.4 cents, this becomes less probable, and it becomes more probable that it's extending higher more directly in the third wave without clear subdivisions. See, that's what often happens in crypto bull runs when you get these rallies without any clear pullbacks, right? It's just going. So just mention that. So this is important to understand, because if you're necessarily always assuming there will be a pullback, yeah, without having a core position, but you actually want to be involved, but you don't have a core position, and you wait for the pullback, it doesn't come, it creates sort of FOMO. So that's why it is important to understand, of course, the possibility is there, it's extending more directly. But it takes a break above 78.4 cents to confirm that further. Now let's take a look at the ADA short-term chart. And I just explained to you what support could be, right? I mean, the structure is obviously not very, very clear, but what I just showed you on the smaller time frame is that even here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we might see another 4-5 pattern in wave C of 3. Remember, I just showed you that on the long-term chart as well. I mean, why do I say that? Because if this was the B wave low, then the C wave is a 5-wave move. 1, 2, 3. Maybe this is now a 4-wave 4, but the microstructure isn't so reliable. Okay, it's not so reliable. So the main support I'm tracking here is just thinking, because no, this needs to be down to the 61.8 fib. So like that. Why is that support? That covers all the scenarios, because the pullback could be a wave 4 in a diagonal already. If the 1-2 setup completed, the A, B, C, ideally we get one more high, but if this is already the 4th wave, if it's a diagonal, we have to give it space down to 42.3 cents. So, and the pullback of sorts might have started before we then go higher in wave 5. That means if we don't hold 42.3 cents, it's going to be extremely difficult for the bulls, okay? That's a level where sentiment starts to shift to something more bearish. So I keep you updated about that. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.